Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 48 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. That's all set and ready to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one exciting element of Episode 9 is the fact that J.J. Abrams will be introducing tons of new Jedi, Sith, and Force lore in this story, as well as brand new Force powers that both Rey and Kylo Ren will be using in this film against, of course, Palpatine and other aspects of the movie that will explain their powers in Episode 9. That's also going to be very much inspired by Star Wars Legends material. That's another thing to look forward to, is that a lot of expanded universe content will be a part of Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Kylo Ren are said to be holding hands, where they are said to be shrouded in darkness and using, of course, an ability called flow walking while walking on a metallic bridge. It's said that as they walk on the bridge, they begin to hear many voices of the past from the prequels and originals, where one of the brief visions in front of them begins to manifest, where Rey and Kylo Ren begins to see a vision of a younger version of Supreme Leader Snoke, where Snoke is described to be in black robes this time, where he is said to be looking out to a large structure that is said to be one of the Dark Temples. The shot of Snoke is said to be a rear shot where it gives a brief view of the side of his face, and a distant shot where Snoke is said to walk into the darkness of the tunnel that leads to the interior of the ancient Dark Temple that is said to hold a connection to the beyond. It's explained that this sequence sets up one of the Dark Temples that Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren will visit at some point in time in the beginning of the third act of the movie that will answer questions related to the very origins of the dark side of the Force. Now, additionally, it's explained that one of the other scenes will also involve a sequence in which Kylo discovers an ancient Sith device in Snoke's old throne room that is said to hold a connection to the spiritual realm. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about Episode 9 here is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be giving us as much Jedi, Sith, and Force lore as possible in order to really expand the franchise into something new and different. We do know that J.J. is using The Rise of Skywalker as a foundation to create new Star Wars lore, and that's exactly what he wants to do in this scenario by using flow walking, which, by the way, is a power that Jason Solo used, which was the original version of Ben Solo. Jason Solo was able to use this. It's essentially time travel, to be honest, where you're actually manipulating the world around you and you're able to literally, interact with elements of the past, but you cannot change the past and or the future, but you can experience it. So that's a very interesting part about this, is that you can actually be there, but at the same exact time, you cannot change any kind of course of history. So in this particular segment, it's said that Rey and Kylo Ren witness a younger version of Supreme Leader Snoke that is said to be decked out in black robes. Now, as he's actually walking toward this structure that is said to be one of the Dark Temples, by the way, there are several Dark Temples located on all corners of the galaxy that hold a strong connection to the Beyond. Now, as we went over numerous times, the Beyond is said to be by far the most powerful Force nexus there is out of the entire galaxy, and the fact that both Rey and Kylo Ren get to see a younger version of Supreme Leader Snoke discovering the final Dark Temple and its connection to the Beyond really is a big deal, because it also connects to the previous leaks that we went over, that Snoke was actually born from the Beyond itself, and his species is actually called a Midwu. So the Midwu, are actually a very rare species that Snoke is actually a part of. We went over this a couple of days ago, where Snoke was actually said to be the last Midwu before Kylo Ren killed him by slicing him in two during the events of The Last Jedi. So what I like about flow walking, and I will say that a lot of fans loved this back in the early 2000s and the late 1990s, where the expanded universe really kind of tapped into, that that fine line of time travel where it's not time travel like how it was in Back to the Future per se, but at the same exact time, it's the Star Wars version of time travel, where you get to experience all these different aspects of the past, and that's exactly what JJ wants to do. That's what he loves to do in a lot of the franchises that he has worked on. Fringe is a great example, Lost is a great example, he was attached to that as well. Even, other, shows that he has worked on and other movies have tapped into it as well. So with that being said, this particular moment, I will say, is going to be the strong point of new Force powers that will be introduced to the audience, especially for the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren and exactly how they're going to be using, these ancient powers that are going to help them and guide them through the Force from start to finish of the plot of this movie. Really is going to be a big deal, I will admit. So, I would like to hear what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to morning.